All right, in this video, I'm going to describe your special topic group project. And looking at this page, it might look a little overwhelming, but just remember that this is a group project. So you guys can kind of divide and conquer and then get back and really brainstorm and talk about all of your research to be able to put it together. So you're going to create a group folder. There's a video for that. But the main part of this is really choosing the topic. This is really important because this will drive your research. And so if you think about it like this, you are choosing a topic of something that is relevant to providing resources or services within the school, home, or community to help children and their families, but it's from an outside entity outside of the school. And so like physical and occupational therapy, usually those special services people come in from the outside in the community, and they come into the school to help kids with those special needs. After school programs could be something like BASE. It used to be here in town, or the Y has an after school program where they do specific things with kids. Reading intervention services. So if you think about Sylvan Learning Center in Springfield, or there's another one that I can't quite think of right now. Parents as teachers, it's actually usually an entity that's within the school, but they go outside of the school to visit families in their own home. So that's why. So if you think about that crossover between outside agencies or even things within the school, but they go the opposite direction, either out into the home or out into the community, or those outside ones come inside. So if you think about charities and churches, there's all kinds of those things as well, things that churches do for the school. Dentist school partnerships, that can be things like Miles for Smiles. There's lots of other variations of that. Restaurants partnering with schools. I've had lots of people do this in the past, because if you think about Pizza Hut and the Book It program, or you think about Limeades for Learning or McTeacher's Night, or there's just so many things, ways that restaurants have partnered with schools to help them raise funds or to get their students interested in something. And so that one's always a pretty popular one. Students volunteering in the community. There's all kinds of things. I know when I was teaching first grade, we helped at the Humane Society, and we raised funds for them. And so we went and volunteered at the Humane Society as well. So think about that, and think about what you want your topic to be, because you have to sign up for this, because we don't want to have duplicates. So make sure when you get with your group, you sign up for the topic, that you actually go and put it on the spreadsheet. So what are the components of your project? So there are quite a few, so you need to look through all of them before you guys decide what you want to do. So some of them can be done by one person, and some of them need to be done by everybody. So this first one, everybody needs to have a journal article as it relates to your topic. Now, talk about, let's see, dentist school partnerships. So if I'm going to be looking for research about dentist school partnerships, I might look at Miles for Smiles, but that would not be really the foundational research that would promote or kind of support that. I would look at how dentist school partnerships support students and their families in learning situations. So Miles for Smiles might come out of that, but really the partnerships are what you would do your research on. Or restaurants, you probably won't necessarily find a research study on McTeacher's Night, but you would find how restaurants in the community contribute to school success. So do you see how I'm thinking more broadly as I'm looking at for journal articles and research, and then you can hone in on those specific businesses or opportunities that you find within that. Okay, so each member of your group will need one article. You will share that information on one Google document, and you'll also share it in your presentation. You'll also need some other online research. So not just journal articles, but you'll need some websites. You might look for infographics, videos, podcasts, all kinds of different things, so you can have a well-rounded research component to your presentation. You'll also need to, somebody within your group or a couple of you will need to do an interview with an expert. So I've had people do the director of BASE or the executive director of the YMCA or a manager at McDonald's or whatever. So you have to actually talk to them. It cannot just be an email exchange. So you'll write your interview questions, and then I really will only be grading the summary of your interview, but I want you to share some of that information in your presentation with our class on that day. So with your Google presentation, it just needs to include your research, the opportunity to share your journal articles, information about your expert, the main ideas, and then you'll also share an overview of your family resources, which I'll talk about in just a minute. And the other thing you really need to do is you're going to have an interaction component to your class presentation. So you need to give the class opportunities to either turn and talk, do a little activity, ask questions, do a little poll or something on your phone, or some type of interaction and activity. We are not just there for you to lecture to us. We're there to participate as well. And so then you can look at what else your presentation can include, and this is just some of the following. They're not all required. And then the final thing I want you to think about is not having so many words on your slides. That just is really distracting and irritating whenever you are supposed to be teaching us. You do not need to have every word you're going to say up on that slide. And so I would really rather you have a lot of images that then prompt you to talk to us about what you learned and the research that was there. You do not need to have all your words up there. And then make sure that you know who's going to be talking about which slides, and that you balance that effectively. And then someone will create a Google document that has resources for families. And what I mean by that is something that you could actually be proud of to hand parent. So it needs to have some kind of visual on it. It needs to have be proofread and all of that kind of thing. But these would be resources that are related to your topic. So if yours again was restaurant partnerships, you might have McTeacher's Night, when it's usually done, the link to know more information. Or if yours is about reading intervention services, you might have 5 different places that families can go in the Springfield area, and the websites, and then what services that they offer. So families can make a good decision about taking advantage of those resources if they need them. And then I already told you about class interaction, and then that is it. And so this is a lot to take in, but if you have a group meeting, a conversation, and you need some input or you need some questions answered, don't hesitate to ask me, and I will gladly participate and help you get started. All right, that's it.